Okay, so I'm sitting outside of the theater about to go watch Borderlands. I'm not excited in the least bit. I've been hearing some truly awful things about this film, and my expectations is that it's going to probably be one of the worst movies I watched this year. Now, it's a big competition as to is it going to be as bad as Madam Web? Because I mean, Madam Web is a movie that you can at least laugh at. Borderlands, I've been hearing that it's just so bad and so awful that like you can't even laugh at it. It's just that bad. So I have no expectations going in other than the fact that it's going to be a truly awful experience. And I'll come back after I see it in the theaters and I'll talk about it then. See you eventually. Wow, that was a masterpiece. I know I was talking about how much I hated this movie. I was going to dread it. That was a perfect. That might honestly be one of the best movies of the year. Like, I legitimately think that I don't know how much better. No, I'm just joking. That movie sucked. That was awful. Like, I don't even know where you begin with it. Like, everything just felt like a cosplay of what a Borderlands movie should actually be. I mean, the villain, like, he wasn't even a two-dimensional, one-dimensional character. He was literally there for like a couple of scenes, just progressed the story, and then the movie ended. I don't know if I've seen a worse villain in a movie in a long time. That was a hot garbage villain. There was nothing. There's no layer. There wasn't even a single layer to that character. He was horrible. And then don't get me started on every single other character who was just there to say some little jokes and then have like things happen just to progress the story. Oh my god. I thought there was some potential. I thought the one saving grace of this movie was going to be Claptrap. That was probably one of the most annoying characters I've seen in a long time. There wasn't a single point in that movie where I thought anything he said was hardly funny at all. Okay, you know what? I take that back. There were some jokes where I thought that was actually like it got a little slight chuckle out of me. That was it. I wanted to punt that little scrap piece of metal so much throughout this movie because it was just so unbelievably unfunny. I hated every second that Claptrap was on the screen. And then Kate Blanchett, what are you doing? What are you doing, Kate? You're so much better than this. I get you had like some weird thing going on in 2020 and you just wanted to reset and like do something like Borderlands. But you're better than this. You did Tar. You did Tar. You are Lydia Tar. And you decided to do Borderlands? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? You're so much better than this. You're such a good actress. You just do so many insanely perfect movies, and yet you decide to do Borderlands. It's insane to think that this is actually a thing that happened. I can't believe, like, I want to see what the original cut of the movie, because I heard like somewhere like Tim Miller basically reshot 60% of the movie and had to like try to fix everything that Eli Roth was doing. I mean, a lot of filming of this movie, Eli Roth wasn't even on the set of doing the film. And I just want to say there have been so many director's cuts. If there is a movement of release the Roth cut, I am going to be so insanely angry that this is what Hollywood has turned into. You know what, I say this, I'm not even a fan of the video games. I enjoy playing the Borderland video games, I really do, but I'm not really a fan of it. And so, that being said, I hated every single second of this movie. I hated it. It's just so much. And it's hard to think of like the saving graces. I guess some of the characters weren't like, didn't tick me off. Some of the CGI was terrible, but I actually kind of enjoyed some moments of it. It's hard to say. It wasn't terrible enough to where it was on the level of Madam Web. I'd say that Madam Web was actually worse than this, but not by much. this isn't going to be the worst movie of the year, but it's going to be a very close, like, bottom 10 of the year. This was just a horrible, horrible, horrible mess of a movie. And I can't believe I actually sat through the entire thing. There was a point where I was considering walking out of the theater. I actually considered if I wanted to walk out of the theater and just not even sit through the end. But I sat through it. I soldiered through the movie, and I decided to watch till the end. Was it the right choice? Probably not, but it's the choice I made. I'm not going to waste a lot of time talking about this. It's just everything is so just it's just hot garbage. That's what it is. It's just hot garbage. It's completely and utter garbage that, like, this is the worst kind of blockbuster, if you can even call it, the worst kind of Hollywood movie that you can make. Everything about it is pretty much everything I stand for and what I hate in Hollywood nowadays. And I get there is a lot of stuff. It's shocking that this movie was even made to begin with, because there's a lot of stuff that this movie had to go through before it eventually get made. But honestly, this is the type of movie where just take notes from Warner Brothers. Use it as a tax write-off. I know I hate talking about it because, like, no matter how bad the movie is, it should at least be made because the filmmakers worked hard. And I say that, like, a lot of people worked really hard on this movie. As much as I like to talk about how horrible these movies are, a lot of people really worked hard on this. And with all that being said, just make it a tax write-off. At least with Batgirl, you didn't really have, like, lifelong fans and, like, diehard, like, we want Batgirl, we need a Batgirl movie. At least with Borderlands, there's a lot of fans that really love this movie, and so you're just doing more harm to them rather than having it released. And I feel really bad because I have some friends who are really big Borderlands fans, and this has to be just the most butchered version of this game that I feel so bad for. If you are a fan of the Borderland games, I just want to speak. I want to speak on behalf of the entire film community, every single person who considers themselves a film lover, a cinephile, whatever. I'm speaking on behalf of all those millions of people. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that you had to witness that and that actually had to happen. I didn't enjoy it either. Nobody enjoyed it. There's no surprise that it has, at the time of speaking, it has a 3% of Rotten Tomatoes. That's probably going to go down, though. I don't know if a single person gives it another certified fresh rating, then that movie is going to jump up. But just, man, I can't believe that actually exists. That was such a terrible movie. But overall, if I had to give it a final rating, I'd give it 1.5 stars. It's not that 1 out of 5 star level that Madam Web was. It's just a barely step above it. Just a little bit better than Rebel Moon Part 2. It's just a terrible movie. But I mean, what did you think of it? I mean, do you agree with me, disagree with me? I mean, chances are, if you made it this far in the video, you probably don't disagree with me. But I mean, was there anything that you thought about this movie that I didn't say? I mean, tell me everything you thought about it down in the comments below. And I mean, if you enjoyed this little rant of me just absolutely dunking on this movie, like and subscribe and share the video if you want. And that's really all I have to say about the review. I mean, this movie was horrible. Probably never going to think about it ever again until I get to the end of the year list. And I mean, that's really all I have to say. And so, yeah, that's movie talk. See ya.